Rejection doesn't always come from those who are far away. Sometimes it lives right beside you. It carries your last name and shared your childhood. There are pains that are born inside the home, silences that hurt more than screams, looks that say, "You don't belong here." And as painful as it is to admit, part of your family may indeed carry a deep discomfort with who you are becoming. That doesn't mean you've done something wrong. In most cases, it's exactly the opposite. You started to change. You grew on the inside. You began to see things that others still prefer to ignore. You decided to break cycles, to shatter patterns, to say no to everything disguised as normal that always hurt you. And that's where everything starts to invert. Suddenly, the one who stands firm becomes the problem. The one who speaks the truth is labeled rebellious. The one who seeks healing is called ungrateful. But what many don't realize is that you are answering a calling. Something greater has awakened you. A strength that didn't come from the world, but from God. And this choice, to be light in the midst of darkness, disturbs others, especially those who still live in darkness. If this sounds familiar, take a deep breath. You are not alone. There's a name for this. You are a chosen one. And this path, though lonely at times, is sacred. In this video, we are going to talk about all of this, with truth, with soul, and with love. I'm George, and if this message is already touching your heart, subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell so you don't miss anything. It will be a privilege to walk this journey with you. We're in this together. Have you ever felt like you were placed in a family where you don't belong? As if you spoke another language, saw things differently, felt things more deeply. That sensation isn't your imagination. Many who carry a deeper calling go through exactly that. There's a discomfort that appears without explanation. It's not conflict. It's not your fault. It's something spiritual. You try to fit in, but it's as if something invisible separates you. It could be a strange silence, a lack of support, cold glances. And even when you make an effort, it never seems to be enough. What you feel is not exaggeration. It's discernment. There's something in your presence that unsettles those who have not yet awakened. And that's precisely why you are seen differently. From an early age, you noticed that you saw the world in a more sensitive way. You questioned what no one else questioned. You felt what others ignored. You paid attention to what was hidden. And that bothered people. It was as though you possessed a spiritual radar that was already active, even without fully understanding what was happening to you. Your soul recognized what your eyes could not yet explain. And when you began to refuse to follow patterns, when you decided not to accept everything in silence, they started labeling you. They said you were difficult, strange, rebellious. But in truth, you were simply trying to stay faithful to something greater you felt inside. What they saw as defiance was actually spiritual resistance. You weren't confronting people. You were confronting the invisible system that kept them bound. This system is disturbed by truth. And you began to carry that truth in your gaze, in your actions, in your words. That's why rejection came, even with no clear reason. Many times, those who should have supported you the most became your source of pain. Not because you were bad, but because your transformation confronted them. Your evolution exposed what they were trying to hide. You became the mirror they avoid. And it's hard to love a mirror when you're not ready to see yourself. They didn't know what to do with you. You refused to follow the family flow. You broke cycles, questioned traditions, and exposed patterns. That made you a threat, even if you never meant to be one. They loved you, but that love came burdened with control, expectation, and limitation. And when you stepped out of that mold, affection turned into rejection. Even without saying anything, your presence said a lot. Your growth spoke loudly. Your change drew attention. and their spirit, still asleep, reacted with discomfort. It's not that they truly hate you. They just don't know how to deal with what you carry. Your light is simply too intense for those who still live in the shadows. You were called to break a cycle, not follow it. And that hurts. Because before you free, you will frighten. Before you heal, you will be rejected. And all of this is part of the mission. Those who are set apart feel solitude first. But it's in that place that God works most deeply, away from the noise, where only He can reach you. It's not easy to walk knowing that many judge you, avoid you, or even ignore you. But the truth is, that does not define you. What defines you is what God has placed within your spirit, and that strength no one can take away. You were chosen, even if the world around you still can't understand it. There. When someone awakens to a life of purpose, the environment around them changes. Some connections break apart without explanation. Strong ties become fragile. People who were once close begin to drift away. And most of the time, this happens without any major argument, without harsh words. The energy shifts, the relationship turns cold, and you can feel it. That's when the question arises, what did I do wrong? But in truth, you did something right. You decided to walk in truth. You stopped pleasing just to be accepted. You stopped hiding just to keep the peace. You took a stand. And that stance, as natural as it may seem to you, destabilizes those still trapped in their masks. Spiritual growth has a side effect. It unsettles those who've chosen to remain stagnant. Those who refuse change get uncomfortable around those who are changing. Your lightness feels heavy to those still carrying old wounds. Your healing confronts them. Your silence is loud to those running from their own conscience. And because of that, your evolution becomes a problem. That's why the invitations stop coming. The tone of conversations changes. Affection turns into coldness. Suddenly, it feels like you've been excluded. But in truth, you were set apart. God is pulling you into a new environment, and that requires distance. He removes what blocks your vision. He silences voices so you can hear only His. Many times, rejection is the first evidence that you're on the right path. Those who distance themselves the most are the ones who feel most exposed by your light. And the irony is, they don't even know how to explain it. They just feel it. But their spirit understands that something in you has changed, and that brings discomfort. You're no longer available for gossip. You no longer feed family dysfunction. You no longer bow your head to avoid conflict. You've chosen truth, and truth always disturbs. Now you don't follow tradition just for the sake of following. You think, you question, you take a stand. And that breaks the family's logic. You're walking a different path, one guided by faith, by intuition, by spirit. While many around you still live trapped in fear, ego, and the need to please. And that difference acts like a mirror they can't face. Your awakening exposes their sleep. They still see you as the person you once were, the calmer, more passive, more manageable version. But now you've changed, and that shakes them. Some will try to pull you back into your old version to feel in control again. Others will simply walk away. But in both cases, the cause is the same: your light. What you carry is strong, and it doesn't need explanation. It's felt. Your presence carries a different energy. You don't need to say much. Just being there changes the atmosphere. And this isn't about ego. It's about anointing. Those who are chosen disturb without meaning to, simply by being who they are. You don't need to convince anyone. You don't need to justify yourself. You don't need to beg for love or acceptance. Your journey doesn't depend on that. It depends on your obedience to what God is showing you. And if walking that path requires traveling lighter, with fewer people around. Walk that way anyway. The lightness is worth it. Not every rejection is an attack. Sometimes it's a redirection, a sign that the place where you are no longer belongs to you. And when that rejection comes from your own family, the pain hits deeper. Yet even that carries a purpose. The distance can be the very first step toward your emotional and spiritual liberation. Since childhood, you felt like something didn't quite fit. Even when you received love, there was an invisible discomfort, as if you were always trying to prove your worth, to be accepted, to fit into molds that were never made for you. But the more you tried to please, the more it seemed like something about you was too much for others. The truth is, it wasn't excess. It was identity. You weren't created to conform to other people's expectations. You were set apart from the beginning. But the enemy has tried to distort that since your earliest days, using those closest to you to plant doubt. His strategy is simple. Wound you at the root so he can paralyze your purpose in the future. He uses words, subtle rejections, the absence of support, all to make you believe you are inadequate, hard to love, easy to forget. And if you don't awaken, you start accepting those lies as truth. You begin to carry that pain as part of your identity. But that is not your truth. It's a disguised attack. What you've gone through does not diminish your value. On the contrary, it reinforces the greatness of your calling. Those who are chosen for greater things must first pass through the fire of rejection. That's where you learn to hear the voice of God above human voices. That's where you discover your identity doesn't depend on acceptance, but on revelation. The very people who should have protected you were used to break you, but God used it to strengthen you. The pain you felt pushed you closer to Him, and it's in that painful place that He begins to reveal your purpose. What once seemed to be the end was actually the beginning of something greater. Rejection doesn't change who you are. It only exposes what others still can't recognize. They can't see what God has already declared about you. And that's okay. You don't need to be understood by everyone. You just need to obey the voice calling you out of darkness into light. Now you face a choice. Keep trying to please people who are not ready to receive you, or accept that your mission goes far beyond their approval. When you choose acceptance of this truth, something shifts inside you. The pain still exists, but it no longer holds you. It becomes fuel, strength, clarity. Chosen one, there is nothing wrong with you. There is something right about what you carry, and that frightens those still imprisoned. But you weren't called to live in chains. You were called to set others free, and sometimes your freedom begins the moment you accept rejection as part of the path. The season of silence. You are being molded. There comes a moment in every chosen one's journey when everything goes quiet, people drift away, invitations stop coming, messages slow down. What once was full of movement now feels empty. That season may look like abandonment, but in truth, it's a season of transformation. What you call loneliness, God calls preparation. You might ask yourself why everything suddenly got so quiet. But God removes the noise so you can hear His voice more clearly. It's hard to understand at first. It feels like punishment, like being forgotten. But it's in that place, far from the eyes and expectations of others, that He begins His deepest work in you. In the silence, you start to see more clearly. Distractions fall away. Masks fall away. You discover what truly matters. You begin to see yourself the way God sees you. And that vision changes everything. Here, you learn to depend more on Him than on others. You learn to pray from the heart, not from routine. Many think they're being left behind, when in truth, they're being hidden. God hides what is valuable. He protects what is still growing. The butterfly doesn't emerge among crowds. It forms in a cocoon, alone, in the dark. That's exactly how the Spirit shapes you in this season. Isolation hurts, but it also heals. You miss the old connections, but come to understand that not all were meant to continue. Some people were distractions, others were limitations, others still obstacles. God saw what you couldn't yet see, and that's why He allowed the separation. It was love, not punishment. During this time, you grow stronger inside. You discover gifts. You rekindle dreams. You hear answers that you couldn't before. You realize you haven't been left behind. You're being positioned to go ahead. But that advancement requires a solid foundation. And that foundation is built in silence. It's easy to believe this season will last forever, but it's only temporary. Everything happening now is part of something greater, something you can't yet see, but God is already preparing. He never wastes a process. Every tear, every doubt, every prayer whispered in the dark serves a purpose. You will come out of this season different, stronger, wiser, more sensitive to God's presence. And when that happens, nothing will shake you the same way again, because now you won't depend on the external. You'll know who you are, and that conviction can't be taken from you, not by silence, rejection, or fear. So don't rush the time. Trust the preparation. The isolation is proof that something is being built. You are not alone. You are being transformed. God is working in the unseen, so He can reveal you at the right time. So embrace this season. It didn't come to break you. It came to align you with who you truly are. There comes a moment in your journey when you realize it's useless to try to please everyone, especially when that everyone includes people from your own family. No matter how hard you try, how much you explain, how sincerely you love, it will always seem like you're doing something wrong. And that's exhausting. You start to wonder if it's even worth trying anymore. But the truth is, you don't need their acceptance to live what God has set apart for you. You were chosen before you were even born, approved by heaven before anyone had an opinion. What they carry about you are projections. They can't see your truth because they're still attached to the old version of who you were, not to who you're becoming. You've already tried to prove you were worthy. You've sought understanding where you only found judgment. You've stayed silent to keep the peace. You've pretended it didn't hurt. But now it's time to change. Because this need for validation only holds you back. And every time you shrink yourself to be accepted, you drift further away from your purpose. There comes a point when growth requires you to let go of some hands, even hands that have always been with you. Emotional attachment is natural, but it can't outweigh spiritual direction. God has called you to move forward, not to carry the weight of others' expectations. You must walk light, walk free, with a heart aligned to His will. Many around you are still trapped by comfort, and when you choose to break from the pattern, you become a threat. Your freedom unsettles them. Your transformation becomes a mirror reflecting what they refuse to confront within themselves. That's why, instead of support, you receive silence. Instead of encouragement, criticism. Instead of love, distance. But even so, keep going. Keep being light, even if they mock your faith. Keep growing, even if they try to reduce you to your past. Because you're not here to prove your worth. You're here to fulfill a calling. And that calling is too sacred to be negotiated with those who haven't yet awakened spiritually. Separating your identity from what others say about you is one of the hardest, but also one of the most liberating steps. You are not the judgments. You are not the criticisms. You are not the rejection. You are who God has called you to be. Brave, loved, anointed. And when you stand in that truth, detachment happens naturally and necessarily. Detachment isn't coldness, it's maturity. It's saying, I love you, but I will no longer carry your wounds. as if they were mine. You can honor your family without letting them define who you are. You can forgive without returning to the old cycle. You can distance yourself without carrying guilt. That is freedom. That is spiritual awareness. Chosen one. This new season calls for discernment. Not every blood tie is a soul tie. Some people love you only as long as you remain who they expect you to be. But you weren't born to live limited. You were born to break barriers, heal old wounds, and create a new path. And that takes courage, to keep going, even when no one else understands. You don't need anyone's permission to be who God designed you to be. When you finally understand that, something shifts inside you. You stop chasing applause. You stop begging for acceptance. You stop hiding, because now, your direction comes from above. Your worth is anchored in truth. Your identity is protected by the anointing you carry. And even if others don't see it, God sees it, and that is enough. Not every spiritual battle happens outside. Many times, the battlefield is inside your home, in the environment where you grew up, among the people who claim to love you. And because it's so close and so emotional, it becomes even harder to recognize. You start to think you're exaggerating, that it's all in your head. But it's not. There's a silent pain that comes from familial rejection. And that pain isn't always made of shouting or direct conflict. Often it's a look, a joke that belittles your faith, a comment that questions your choices. You try to protect yourself. But how do you protect yourself from those who know your deepest vulnerabilities? What's happening isn't just personal, it's spiritual. When God begins to elevate you, when your awareness expands, your light confronts the environment around you, and darkness, even when disguised as normality, begins to feel uncomfortable. Rejection starts subtly. Cold glances, exclusion from conversations, unexplained distance. Suddenly you're too much, too intense, the one who changed too much. But what no one admits is that your change exposes what they're trying to hide. That's why your presence unsettles them. Your walk with God reveals the imbalance around you. That's why you're misunderstood, ignored, rejected. What's happening in your home may be more than just a difficult phase. It could be a spiritual reaction to the anointing you carry. It's not that they hate you as a person. It's that their spirit recognizes something in you that threatens the comfort of their stagnation. And that provokes resistance. They try to keep you small. They remind you of who you were, your mistakes, your past failures. Because it's easier to trap you in the old than accept the new thing God is doing in you. But don't let yourself be trapped. Don't accept that emotional prison disguised as concern or family. You need to be clear about this. When God calls you, not everyone will follow. And that's okay. Sometimes peace is born from distance. Sometimes revelation comes through rejection. You're not being excluded by chance. You're being set apart for something greater. And that separation hurts, but it also strengthens you. Stay in obedience, even if they mock your faith. Keep growing, even if they roll their eyes. Keep loving, even from afar if that's what it takes. But don't stop. You were chosen to break cycles, to shatter curses, to be a new root in an old tree. And that takes steadfastness. Those who reject you today will one day see what God is doing in your life. But until then, keep walking. Walk with faith. Protect your peace. And never forget, the spiritual pressure is only strong because you carry something powerful. Keep your light burning, and if needed, shine in silence. Look at everything you've already faced. The losses, the silences, the rejection. You thought you were being forgotten, but in truth, you were being trained. Every tear was a seed. Every abandonment was a push toward your purpose. Nothing was by accident. You weren't born to fit in. You were born to transform. When your own family rises against you, the pain is real. It hurts to be misunderstood by those who should protect you. But even so, you are still here, still standing, still seeking answers, still holding faith. That, in itself, is proof that you have been sustained. You have been guarded by something greater, and that something is God. You're not lost. You're in process. You're being prepared for things you can't yet imagine. Everything that seemed to push you away was, in truth, bringing you closer to who you really are, to the person God saw when He decided to choose you, and that choice was intentional. It wasn't luck. It was purpose. Many may never understand your path, and that's fine. You don't need their permission to move forward. Your mission is between you and God, and He has already confirmed you. He has already called you. He has already anointed you. Now it's up to you to believe it, to keep going, even without applause, even without support. If this message touched your heart in any way, comment below. Share what you felt. Write, "I am chosen," if something inside you awakened today, because you are not alone. There are others walking through this same process, and sometimes just knowing that brings peace to the heart. I'm George. Thank you for staying until the end. Your journey matters, and it's only just beginning.